Reminder to subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the guild and the Discord while you're down there. Hello people, and welcome to a slightly special video. This will be the LR Pass tier list with TOS HT. If you hear anything weird, that's probably just me cutting together audio because the entire process of this was very long. Hope you enjoy. Alright, so to begin the LR Pass tier list, here I have with me TOS HT. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm HT. Nice to meet you guys all. Also, thank you for TY inviting me for this on the LR Pass part tier list maker.
Right, this is actually not the first time TOS HT has collabed with me. I don't do this often, but there is another video on my channel which you can check out later. So let's get right into it. There are a lot of cards in the LR Pass. If you don't see a card in here, that means I deem it to be really bad, and you just should not train it at all unless you have nothing better to do. So let's get started from the top of the Lost Relic. First off is the Norn series, starting off with Erd, the Water God.
For I think can just theoretical user because she actually uses it only on certain streams, maybe on controlling skills, and because she can just change the enemy attribute, just usually theoretical use.
The framework here is judging it based on partly the power level of the LR Pass cards in general. Most of them aren't gonna be used a lot or core members, right? So
yeah,
I personally think Erd is can be considered high use rate, out of the LR Pass characters. Yeah, especially with the recent VR or yeah.
For the reasons of VR, actually,
VR, I would say it's quite high.
Yes, quite high used because after VR, right, just the CD skills can drop that, and then the virtual form we can just solve the same combo elements. The skill we can use. Also, we can just clear the 15 hearts and more just after the VR form.
Right. Yeah. And then next up would be, what is this card called again? There's gonna be a lot of that happening. Right. Me not remembering the name of the card. Skull. That's what this card is called. Yeah. The Fire God Time Tunnel.
Fire God actually.
For some reason, I actually use this card less. I think it's because there are too many Time Tunnel cards in the game.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think it's still good just because once again the Norns of their VR, they can also act as an HP booster, although God teams aren't really in the meta right now. Verthandi, I don't use this card often at all. I think it's a bit too niche.
Yeah, yes, because her skill is quite special actually. You can say just absorb the enemy HP.
Yeah, unless they do something like a poison shield or whatever, they do the burning and freezing. I don't this is not, but this is rare, but sometimes useful. Aiden, I actually think is quite good. I would say high use rate. I mean, high use rate in what the card does, because solving the cracked positions is a rare skill.
Yeah, it's a very good skill actually. If you guys don't have the for the black gold and C, if you guys really don't have, you guys can use for your gold member for use Eden to solve the cracked positions. Yeah.
And Brynhildr, actually, I would honestly put even at the top. Honestly, this is one of the highest use rate cards in here. Honestly,
yeah, among the highest because her unlocking skill is just can also giving the extra damage just after the fight through.
Yeah, one of the first global unlocking cards. And then next up would be the Paladins. Okay, let's just get it out of the way, right? The fire, earth, and light ones are not really that used. Like, sometimes maybe. Actually, I'm gonna even take this guy down a notch. Like, I have not used the light one ever. The earth and fire one I have used, but very rarely. The water one has actually, like, been quite useful when I have used it.
Yes, it's quite useful. Especially for the past two to 3 years or until now especially for the newbie. If you guys really don't have CD reductions, it's like mostly used is water ability, but the bad thing is her CD is like long.
Yeah, her CD is quite long, but like now, like for some reason, in like recent stages, damage reduction is actually becoming useful once again. Like, not everyone ignores damage reduction anymore. So, Water Paladin provides like a really strong damage reduction.
Yeah.
And then for the dark one is mainly used for like memes.
Yes, only used for Lubu team.
Yep.
Just like it don't kill 20%.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, yeah, I'll put it there. Apparently people have figured out like that the January challenge is cheesable. I don't know if I'll like put video stuff out on that, but hey, by the time this video is out, the viewers will know. Next up is the what is this series called? The sprites, right? Okay, it's these guys over here.
Yeah.
All right.
Sprites.
Ydra has a very high use rate because of the like multi-stage. I don't even know what you call it. The tumbler effect. Yeah, that's what you call it.
Yeah, the thumbnail effect is like extra damage. Just like we can counter the 25% skill. Just like we can like two rounds up to first one is 3 rounds. 3 rounds. Just like after PR is 150%. I can say.
That's right. That's a very good staple member in Daji usually.
Yeah, Daji, even Lily's also use. Even our Black Gold card also can. The twin Black Gold card also can use as well. Just like we can speed out if just like speed out the 35% shield just like the enemy.
And then Magrants is actually also good because elves don't have that many or rather when like elves need anti-burning, I don't think they have many options. So I have also used this card quite a bit.
Also, she can just like turn the enemy attribute. That's one of the reasons so that she can be used. Like we just like if we need just like turn the fire, turn the fire attribute, and then we can deal the damage like this.
Yeah, usually that like I would think that the burning effect is more useful though. Okay, Yvette, I have used this card in the past, but it's not very much.
Yeah, same with me. It's like not that much because
I would say it's used rarely, but like for recovery purposes, it's fine.
Yeah. Yes, but right now there's no recovery. Not that much recovery.
Yeah, like there's not much time to utilize like recovering by hitting the enemy at the same time. Like it's either you can't hit the enemy at all, or you hit them and they die. Marguerite, this is theoretically useful. I don't think I've used this card. Like this is theoretically good, but oh well.
Yeah, I just sell them. This card is in my inventory, but until right now I didn't use.
Isabel is actually, I would put her in sometimes used because the controlling skill is quite strong, but the CD is once again quite long.
Yeah, the CD is quite long. There's maybe the controlling skill is like 1 to 2 rounds, but Isabel is just like quite special, 3 rounds, but only just like you said, the CD is just like too long.
And then that's actually the end of the original cards. The Lost Relic section is done. all the other cards I don't feel like are that useful nowadays. So let's move on to the ultimate section. So the first useful card in here that I think is useful is Fort Sterling. This card. I would put him at like maybe top of sometimes used, because this card is a quintet, can solve quintet attack shield with the PR form.
Yeah, in the PR form, and then also give the damage. This need some requirement. We have to spin 7 fisted combo. To have all, but actually it's okay lah. Because right now most leader they are moving time actually is just more longer. Actually just easy to eat all the buff lah from streaming here.
And then some weird mentions here are like Anu. Anu is only for Babylons, I think, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yes.
But like, you know, rare situations, but he is useful. 原始天尊 is sometimes useful again. He's like a full board conversion of water. This is
yes.
an M plus combo, so I put him in like bottom of sometimes used.
Also we can can clear the accumulate 30 accumulate water rooms. Just use. Yeah. Because nowadays mostly you can see the ENC ultimate stats just 30 fire accumulate, 30 water like this, but we don't know on the future, maybe see.
Yeah, that's actually been like reducing, and also nowadays you can like use leaders like Lilith or like Anya, and that they can actually solve that by themselves. So
yeah, so that made it.
Yeah, this card is like declining in value. And for some reason, even like this card I used in the past more than the other card, TryHardNinja, who's not even on this list, but who does the same thing for Earth, but for some reason I've used that card way less. So I don't know why.
I agree.
It's just like the stage trends, I guess. Var, okay, this card deserves an honorable mention. I don't know if you've used this card. I've used this card once for like an achievement, and it's because of this weird team skill where this card, if the leader and ally are gods, she'll synchronize with the attribute of the leader. I've used this like literally once with like in an ultimate stage where the achievements like you have 2 attributes in your team, but then you know once you enter the stage, it becomes a 1 attribute team.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with you.
And then
actually, I didn't cut it until right now.
Yeah, no, that's why I put it in like theoretically useful, because like I don't think like anyone like who's not like this is like bottom of the priority, but like barely useful. Like until like I saw this in a video, I'm like, what is this card? But that does have a team skill. It does exist. This card that I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce. This Dark God card.
Actually, this dodge the enemy.
Yeah, he does the attack of all enemies for 1 round, which is theoretically useful, except the CD is way too long.
Yes, way too long, because we can see now actually the dodging we have just like Anya team skills have already.
Oh yeah, and many other member cards have that too, so not that good.
Just like Diamond, just like Diamond, just like Amatera, even the turn 3 rounds, like we don't need to dodge it, we just like eat the damage down, like take the damage. But for the new player just like can stand by one, just like as a temporary. It's the temporary one you when they get diamond, when they get Amaterasu, then this one is just like can put aside already.
Next is Domanashia. This is one that like I consider not putting on here, but like I have used him once in the past. Yeah, he provides like actually a sizable attack boost, but that's about it. Like the attack is like quite a lot, but that's it. Yeah, and damage isn't really needed like in like today's meta.
Yeah, like need just like 1. And also the second reason is because of the demon. because the demon team, as you can see, before Una is coming, we just like you see is the just like the and if like this.
Yeah, I thought you were about to bring up the origin of demons, but yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, no one has ball on Eve. That team cost 600 diamonds.
Yeah, 600 diamonds, and also just like we actually don't need it. Just like they mostly use the black god if since her buffing is much more better, and also just like got a lot of just like we can her skill is like when we cross we can get the high combo with regardless of initial shield. So like the conversions after they come out already. And also just like the teams are actually the demons did not damage honestly say.
Right. And speaking of the origin of demons, this card, what is this card called? Belial, that's right. This card I put in like top of sometimes use because he's actually like a really great member with the Origin of Demons series. Now that they've got their SR, like he has he's a huge like damage and HP boost. Yeah, so I think he deserves including in here just for that. And then Ed, okay, Ed I've used a lot, like for sure. Maybe like this is maybe gonna be like a weird opinion, but like I place it like after Brynhildr. I've used Ed so much in the past in like different teams.
Yeah, and even the demon team because it actually just like release his own blocker skill and also the 20 attack damage, and also just like regardless just like for the fixes combo actually use that now.
Yeah, I think the main thing I've used them for is probably the unlocking. Is just because demons don't like, well now like I think recently they like got like 1 or 2 more members that can unlock, but he was one of the first that can actually unlock the skill. So I've used him in like, you know, like Melodious back in the day, like Qin Shi Huang back in the day, you know, and even like nowadays for demons like there are still like very few options. So like, he's still very good, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like he is the first this is like the first demon unlocking skill. Even right now the demons actually like still don't have. We only just like prevent block from one assist.
Yeah, no, not many options still. Ev I have used mainly not for like I've used him very few times, but it's a pretty recent, I guess, like realization that I realized he can actually just reduce the attack of all enemies to 0. I think like when the enemy doesn't ignore controlling, this is quite useful. I'll put him in bottom of sometimes used.
Sometimes used, just like for the new player, maybe it's a great help.
Yeah, I think just because like this is actually a very useful effect, but there are cards that can replace it, and also you know you can't use it against enemies that can't be controlled. But this is a great effect. So yeah.
It's very effect, especially if the enemy is like high damage yet you can control them.
Okay, Paimon. Okay, this card, despite what everyone says, I've actually never legitimately like used this card. Like it's theoretically useful for me. I don't. Have you ever used this card? This is a record the board and like convert it into the board next time, next turn. Have you ever used this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have been. Yes, I've been used actually. Just like used 2 to 3 times.
Okay, I'll put it in the top if I've used it once.
Because first sometimes if the net wrong, if the we had to dissolve all the runes, right, I might be used up to have for the lightning, especially the past at that time, because we not at that time because those had a really full broader part. So I used it and then copy it, just like bring to the next round, and then just like counter, just like to counter the just like and also solve the all rune shield like this. Right,
I see. I think I haven't used this card because they're like although this is rather rare, there have been like quite a few. There are quite a few copying cards that last more than one round. So I think when I've had to use a copying card, I've used those instead in the past. Like I've actually not gotten around to using this, but you know, apparently you have. So good to have. This is why it's good to have a second opinion here. Next is Hades. I mean, bottom of sometimes used. Same reason as you know, the whoever this card is. There was a Gesture Tension, just a 30 dark. You know.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I don't think we need to say more about that. Same thing. Copper Bullet. Wait, no, that is not Copper Bullet. What am I talking about? This is Colin. I've been confused by the recent like Ultimate stage or whatever. Okay, this. All right, where are you putting this? This is like, this is contender for like best LR card.
Yes.
Where would you put it? Like in the front, like where? In here?
Yes, in front of Ed.
In front of Brynhilda, or in front of Ed. Okay, in front of Ed. All right.
For Colin, actually, this is like for the Dragon team. Like team, even this is like for the multiverse team. Actually, this is like very useful. This is like the CD5. This is like we can like have unlimited moving, and then this like we can just like clean. Just like only left light, dark, vote on our board. Then just like it can clear the trio, and also just like counter the dual element.
Yeah, this is like definitely like this was way ahead of its time. It has so many effects, like exploding runestones of a certain type, generation of enchanted runestones, a time tunnel.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is and so because of that, like still to this day, it is like contender for like the best card, the best LR card. So next up, Sengoku Mas. Okay, I thought this card was like a meme card because I mean a long time ago, right? This card like you would put 3 of them in like rows or something, but recently, like in Daji, this is like the CD reduction has been like a legitimate like thing to like make the entire like flow of the stage like work with the CD reduction. This has actually like been like a card that I've legitimately used, as in not a meme.
Yeah, actually, just like the using just like maybe on the forum, we just like to speed out that, or just like to cache, just like to break our own record. Especially just like we just like using him. Even the ultimate set, sometimes we maybe use him just like for maybe the dead 2 round CD reduction, just like to ready out the skills, and then just like prepare well can be used actually.
Yeah, I would say actually like this card is quite useful, but once again with the precondition you gotta have like an elf leader for you to be like for this card to be useful. Yes, Vishamonten. This card used to be like really good back in the day, but nowadays I'm not sure. I'm like, I've used once, whatever. Just put him like somewhere here. I'm not concerned about like the ranking when it's in like this tier.
Also, same with you. I only use once. Just like deal water damage.
Yeah, it's just that like one stage where it's like you can only deal water damage, and this guy just does that. But that's an extremely niche skill.
Usually just like, but it's just like because nowadays most leaders are just like you can see just like Luna, just like can deal water damage if our last rune is water after she enter the blood.
Yeah. Also, I just don't think you see that skill like very often anymore. Yeah. It was good like in this like back in the day because you could consolidate the whole team into like one, like basically convert the whole team's damage into water damage. But like you have better solutions nowadays. Kenshin the Beast Sense. Alright, I only include this card here because of Hideyoshi. And as everyone watching knows, that's like my favorite card. Sometimes used because this is really only useful here because of Hideyoshi. It's a time tunnel card. And if you need one, that's that. Earth Human does not have, well, it has a few time tunnel cards, but this is a free one, I guess. And pretty much because of the same reason, Akechi, also here because of Hideyoshi, a pretty good HP boost, but that's it. His active actually just does nothing, but the HP boost is like really useful, and Hideyoshi is technically like a good team now instead of being like an absolute trash team and only a character that I like because I pulled him early on. Shy Plant, a really good card, honestly. It's just, I would put him in high use rate. Just, he's still really good. I mean, he didn't get bad. Other cards just became better. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he's gotten power creeps, like, in the recent metas, but he's still really good. If you play elf teams, I would say, like, he's like, yeah. Maybe, like, I would put him in front, honestly. On the same vein, Papaver, a much worse elf damage booster, I've sometimes used. This is a weird one. Like, actually, I think I've used it in like some weird situation where your team HP like needs to not be full or something.
Actually, I thought just like deduction, just I thought adding in just like everything is like good, but just like our team at that time is like not enough actually. But sometimes can be used. But actually, just like recently nowadays, just like the even the whole team extra dimension nowadays a lot of breakers. So these are just like only for the if achievement that she can be carried out for that team.
Yeah, definitely like not well. Maybe okay. Maybe bottom of sometimes I would say nowadays. Yeah. Or wasp. Okay, theoretically useful. Another theoretically useful card. See, I've like seen this card be used. I don't think I've used it myself. This card is theoretically useful because like I've seen him be used to like stall for like rounds because you can. This is once again an HP absorbing active, but like as I've said, HP absorbing is not is not common, and it's especially not common like now. So theoretically useful. I have a max, but he's just sitting there in the inventory.
Yeah, same. I just level 1 just like of being at the inventory. Yeah. This is because actually for the dragon, this is one of the just like absorbing. Another one actually we have the waver. Just like 5 rounds are absorbing with the dragon. How much dragon you like actually?
Oh yeah, that's like, right. Yeah, with Wobbles like not recent buff, but like recent in terms of like the evolution of dragons. Yeah, this card is completely outclassed by Wobble. You go on neck. Okay. See this card like okay, I think I used to see this card a lot. And he is once again the card hasn't gotten bad. Other cards just have gotten better. Where would you put him? This card was used a lot, like back in the day. And he's still good, don't get me wrong, but like the whole board explosion, it's good.
Yeah, so whole board explosion and then just do just cannon damage.
Yeah, direct damage.
Direct damage also give frontline or
yeah, and a little bit of board control. So all that is good. But I actually haven't been using him recently. And I'm not sure whether that's because like demon teams aren't that strong, he's gotten worse, like, or rather he's gotten worse, other cards like have like power crept him. Like where would you put this card like currently? I guess would you still put him in high use rate?
Actually yes, can be high use rate.
Right, would you put him at like top or bottom though? I think it's bottom like nowadays.
Yes, I did. Just like can be used, but just like only maybe for the like team or the demon team. These two.
Right. Okay. Theoretically useful. Once again, I've seen this card be used. The effect seems good, but I've not actually used it myself.
I actually use just like only for the poisons. poison effect only.
Like on a poison shield?
Yes.
Oh wow,
Only
okay.
use, like,
Alright, I guess. Okay.
because just like especially just like if like human lah, just like if this criteria.
Like this is why I mean this is why I initially thought it was theoretically useful, right? Because the effect like sounds useful. It's poison. It's, you know, extension of runes to movement time. It's like it sounds good, but like I've not used it. So
same actually. I would basically like useful.
Yeah, very very rarely. Except okay, Ubume, interesting case, because this is a card that I used a lot back in the day. The team skill is still not bad. It's a damage reduction one, or it changes the active rather. The condition is if you forgot, which I mean, if I didn't specifically research this, I also would have forgot. It's if the team has 3 or more attributes, and Ubume is in the team, it changes the active of her to become like have a damage reduction effect of 30%. I don't know where to put her. Like it's either sometimes used or I've used once.
Sometimes used.
Right. Yeah, probably. Okay, bottom of sometimes used. Because that effect is still quite good, you know. Like human and demon tech times 2.2 is quite strong still. But
yeah, but only just like because maybe just like she just like didn't use because of her CD actually one of the reasons.
CD? I mean it's 7. 7 is not that long. Okay, never mind. I miscalculated. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, 8's quite long. Yeah, I think another bad point is like you can't deactivate this card. So, yeah. What a funny difference that like 7 and 8 are like a long ways away.
Yeah, it's actually in now position is actually a long way away because basically right now the stage is at 5.
Yeah, the standard is like 5 and 6. So like yeah, the difference between 7 and 8 is quite long. Okay, Sandman.
Yeah, exactly.
I have used this card once. Some people may say it's theoretically useful, but this is like a weird card that I've used once. It's like for stalling where you don't attack, but the enemy attacks you, which is a very specific situation that I've encountered like once or twice in the past. But he is very good at that because its damage speed minus 95% is like quite insane. And he also gives HP recovery, so like even if the enemy somehow does manage to hit you for a lot, he does recover. Yeah. The downside, of course, is that you can't attack for 3 rounds. So that's why that's why I've used this card once. Have you used this card ever? Once or twice?
Only one.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, one.
Alright, another card with a skill that nobody would ever know, and no one would probably ever need to know. Platycodon. This card, like the other card, actually has a team skill. That is, if the leader is a human or god with this card in the team, it synchronizes with the leader. Now this card I've never seen used, but I included it in here simply because it is like it has a similar team skill to the other card, which I have seen used, but there we go. That's a team skill that nobody ever knew, probably. Did you ever know of this team skill existing?
No.
Alright, great. The theoretically useful card, apparently. Moving on to the twins. These cards are actually like really good for as an elf member. I would put them like maybe like here or something.
Poison through so like produce the heart because if basically like their items like come from heart.
Yeah, I think the dual skill is still pretty good. Of course, like outclassed, like a little bit outclassed nowadays because the teams can like do some of the stuff like just inbuilt in the team skill already, but you know, still useful nonetheless. And there actually have been like quite a few new cards added to the LR path, like after I made like this template for the tier list. But fortunately, none of them are good, so I don't have to worry about that.
You forget about TryHardNinja beside the S0 there.
Oh, he actually is here. Wow. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I was Tom.
almost
Okay,
the same.
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
same thing.
Okay, same thing. All right. Good catch. Okay, moving on to Biweekly Relic. A lot of the Biweekly Relic cards are really bad. But here's Mad Hatter. Okay, Mad Hatter I have surprisingly used a lot. Like over time. Maybe like here. I've used Mad Hatter a lot.
For yeah, this I without any requirement, this I prevent lock for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Anything can do.
Yeah, this is good for like your L teams, your water teams, just because it's a global anti-unlocker, which is different to an unlocker because you can activate the round before, and that is sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing, but it's different, and that's why this card is good. Next up is Cheshire Cat. Okay, the only memory I have is using this card like for like meme teams, but the skill is genuinely unique. So I don't know. Like, have you used this card?
Yes, I use it and do a math. It just for the challenge stage. 2020 the challenge stage just for the level 10 at that time.
That what?
Because
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, because at that time we have 3 fatal blow, and then just like fatal blow monster, and then after we check the whole index, only him.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think that's the same I'm talking about because I used ban for that one, but that I consider like a meme team. Okay, I'll put it at bottom of sometimes used because that was, even though that was a meme team, that was a legitimate use. So, okay, sure. And I mean, yes, this is true. There's I think, well, there's like Fei Yin nowadays. That's like the second ever card to solve the self explosion. Yeah. All right. Next up is 2 cards that are theoretically useful, or rather, I think I've used like one of these like once. It's the Death Riders. Oh, all right. Time. This is gonna happen. Well, I think maybe this is probably the last time it's gonna happen. Team skills that you didn't know existed and probably will never use ever again. Did you know that the light and dark Death Riders actually have a team skill that boosts the HP of demons by 1.3 times?
Yeah, I know.
You did? Okay. That's quite good. I don't think, like, probably most of the viewers don't know. This is like extremely niche knowledge. Have you used these cards?
Yes.
Really?
Those I use for yeah, I did.
For like,
I didn't get the Femi. The demon also one of the booster that I booster HP the 1.51. At the time, I just didn't get it, and then just for the achievement, I just see, hey, suitable, just use. Yes, just stand by have because this is a great buff for the demons also, and also just everyone can get. Just use it for the recording teams team use that.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I guess like if you have no other options, this is fine. But like there's a condition, and 1.3 really is not that much. Hopefully this is a team skill that no one has to use, but you know, it's there. Moving on to the haunted objects. 2 cards. Okay. Birdcage. Alright. I'm like the battle of the global unlockers. This is number 1 or number 2. I'm tempted for this number 1 because I'm biased towards like Earth humans. But what's your opinion?
Yes, you can she can go because she can, as long as anything just can pick her since she can just unlock the skill anyone, and also just recover the HP.
Yeah, I think this card is just like good all around, and also has existed for all. I mean, you can make the case for number 2. I'm just like emotionally biased probably, but this is an excellent card. You know, for Earth Human or otherwise. Next up is Camera of Precious Flashes. This card is I've used it once. Nowadays it's like really bad, but if you have no other options, this is an option. It is turn the board into enchanted runestones.
Yes, it is used to stop the launcher attacks too.
Yeah, it's like it used to be like, you know, Quintet Enchanted, you would use this card, but not nowadays. I just put this here because it's like, well, it's an option if you like really have no other options left. Yeah. Next up is the mech girls or whatever you call these. These card is like, I think, okay, I'll put it in some. I'm like, I'll put it in sometimes used. Like some of these cards are outclassed. Like the Earth one is like outclassed by like Dokuro. The Dark one is outclassed by like technically the new. Well, it's outclassed by like Vivian, one of the like guild cards or something. But like if you don't have any other options for solving multi-hit shields, these are still valid. You know, 20 extra attacks are 20 extra attacks. Yeah, nowadays there are better options, but you know they are there. Yeah, and then there actually once again have been more additions, like the bi-weekly section. Like after I made this tier list, once again, they are not useful at all. Surprisingly, wow. The last section will be the event relic. Starting off with Cactus. Okay, Cactus is once again an elf damage booster, but he is special in the case that he increases the damage that you take, which sounds like a bad thing, but I have used it as a good thing. So the use rate, I would put him like maybe front of sometimes used. I've used him like he's like the mid tier that I use like maybe like a lot, but like not that much, just because he hinges on like heart runestones to get the attack multiplier out.
And this will dissolve at heart runestones, but actually I only use him like for once. But actually I had to see on the if leader just like produce heart getters will be the choices. But if not, I would probably use the Shyplan.
Yeah. I mean, I think just as a pure damage booster, Shyplan is just better. But yeah, Cactus is an option. Mech Smilodon. Okay, Mech Smilodon. Mech Smilodon used to be so good. I'm like, what happened to Mech Smilodon, man? He's definitely in high use rate, but where in high use rate? Because he used to be so good, and then I've just stopped using or seeing him.
Just like using on the fire games actually. Just like for the fire things, just like extra, especially the left monster is like 2.5. And so just like it can be deactivated and activated, although the deactivation skill is just like turn on the runes to each.
Yeah, exactly. So the effects aren't bad. I'm just like, why have I not seen this card for like a year?
Because we have a lot of the effect of him.
Yeah, maybe it's like marking a member bloat, but yeah. Probably okay. I'll move him up like beyond like the meme stuff or like the underused stuff, but the effect is good. I think it's just nowadays, once again, there are too many options, too many better options. And then next is a theoretically useful card. I don't know if you've used this card ever. I think this card is called a Zhouyu, if I believe. This card sounds good. I've not used him. Like, I've got him, but I've not used him. What about you? Yeah. The skill sounds good, right? It's like explode, you know, all the runestones except for fire runestones 3 times. No, I've just never used them. So maybe it's actually a bad skill. I don't know. Next up is what's this card even called? I don't remember. Theoretically useful card. What's this card called? Do I even have this card?
Actually, rental can be used actually, but it needs quite special. Just like the active skill is.
Oh yeah, Ranto. That's what this card is called. Okay, yeah. The reason why I put him in theoretically useful is because he has a lot of effects that could theoretically be useful, but the conditions are ridiculous.
Yeah, the condition is very ridiculous. It's like need 4 races. It's like need certain races to have this buff.
Yeah, no. The reason why, like, I was tempted to not put him in here, and the reason was because even when like Ingrid was the meta, and Ingrid, like, this looked like it was gonna be the perfect card for Ingrid. It did not work. Like even in Ingrid, this card did not work. So I'm not sure, like, whether this card is a bad card, but you know.
I think he get the adjustment. Actually, he got adjustment.
Oh yeah, I think he did actually get an adjustment. Okay, I think I have a slight memory of this, but that didn't do anything.
Actually, I used him. It's just like the shortest counter initial issue because if you look at his skills, right? Actually, if we have 4 races, rental just like his CDs will just like -4. The original is that if we activate, just like have 4 or more races in, right? So it only CDs 4.
Hey, you mentioned a team skill that I didn't know. Wow. But yeah, I didn't actually know that the skill CD got a reduction when you have 4 or more races in the team. So a theoretically useful team skill. Join the theoretically useful tier. Lernane, I've used this card once. It's good for extra attacks when I used him.
Yeah, extra attack actually the another thing is that for the water, for it turning water sometimes. I usually just like use him with Ethan and Alpha. These 3 just like working together.
Oh, for like a large amount of water moonstones? Right. But doesn't Ao Guang already do the same thing? Oh no, a fire moonstones rank first in priority. Okay, no. Yeah, that's right. Never mind. He's not an actual, he's just a random converter.
Yes, a random converter design. Maybe the night portion is the time we can just like control easily instead of Ao Guang. Because sometimes the fun is like it turns a lot, but sometimes we have to just like correct
Right. So very rare use case, but has been useful in the past. The seal boss. Okay, the seal bosses I'm only considering in their base forms, like not the corrupted forms, since we did the corrupted forms in the other video already. So in their base forms, let's start with wait, no, hold on, wrong order. Let's start with Fenrir. So I'm just rating the light and dark together. They are Fenrir, and I think they're actually like pretty good.
Yeah, after the virtual, especially just like give a boost HP, just like for the combinations. Yeah,
I'll put them like pretty high actually on the high use rate. Oh yeah, for the like their VR forms.
Yes, the VR.
Like the other VR form. Yeah. And then Diablo. I've used his other VR form is useful, not the base one. The base one sucks. But the other one I have used, I would say sometimes once again, like when he is useful, he's useful in like a good member in elf teams, but not that useful, not that used rather. I don't use him a lot.
I will be already been long didn't use his best form actually.
Oh yeah.
I use him just like produce the hard runes.
Wait, doesn't his other form? The reason why I used him is because his other form has a fixed board of no heart runes, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Expose the board to generate enchantments as well. 5 attributes, so no heart. Nidhogg. Nidhogg is actually good, but I don't use him that often. I think it's another one of those cards that like has been outclassed, maybe in the dragon department.
Yeah.
Because he is a good damage booster, but I just don't see him that often. I think it's because like initially they just built like the entire like dragon like ecosystem is skewed so hard towards like Novelist that even though Nidhogg is good, I've only used him in like non-dragon teams, to be honest.
Yeah, same. That's because nowadays most teams their combos, especially their combos on basically 10L or sometimes some but most like some teams are just like especially like Lily.
Yeah, I have used him a lot. It's like you can get the 10 combo like condition very easily. So
yeah, but for the dragon team maybe we can use your season, while the other seasons are so hard to maintain that 10 combo block because the 2.5 damage actually is that we need 10 combo and upper to maintain, but most dragon teams either.
I don't know why I have Gamsa on here twice. I guess I'll just put one of the pictures on. Gamsa is good. I mean, like, I sometimes used. I have not seen her like recently. I've not used her recently. The 3 attributes of attack are good. Yeah. Hopefully she gets a VR someday.
Yeah.
It's like the corrupted version came out and then the VR is not even here. But whatever.
Yeah, the second reason is maybe just like her skills one, just like the adding for the requirement, just like only gold and pink. But actually now there's most teams just a lot of races, so just like next this can be just like a little bit need certain of requirement races to activate the skill.
Kubera, yeah, okay, I just looked up the card. Okay, this card is good for damage reduction. I've used it once.
Yeah. Then I basically use the gold.
Yeah, it's just in light god teams, he's like a card that has a 80% damage reduction, and that's like a good effect for like specific race, specific attribute. And then Gong Gong. Okay, this card I have used once, maybe, or not even. I've seen it being used once. The effect is actually good, but like I think other cards can do the same thing. It's basically just like a defense reducing card for beasts.
Yeah, but actually it's too easy because a lot of cards can do.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a good effect, but too many cards can do the same thing. Next up is a card that I don't remember the name of again. Where is this card? Is this one? Do you remember what this card is called? That's right. Okay. This card is just plus combos. I've used it once.
I actually sometimes use that because because for the game, especially if we limit the races and also the attribute.
Oh right, it's once again like a light god that like can do.
It's us right because before the mana element, like before the mana element that come into the game, we usually use her like only for the combos, or we use the Apollo, like we don't need to worry about the combo. If we use the FR Apollo, like but now actually, it's actually see the conditions. See the condition. Maybe if the combo up to just like 16, 17, maybe we might use the mana.
Right for like higher combos, yeah. This card. All right. Next up, Ouroboros. Actually, a useful card for quintet attack. Probably top of some. I'm putting a lot of. Okay, I'm gonna it's fine. I'm not gonna rearrange the top of sometimes use. I think the most important one is the high use rate category. But this is a Quintet Attack card that is free. It's not a very good one, but it's free. I realize that there are some cards I forgot, but you know, I'll just get to the end and then we can pull those in as well. Kubor. Okay, Kubor is really good. Like, not gonna lie, I've used him like when I have had to use him. He's been really good. Maybe like bottom of high use rate, or like, well, this is like the niche category. But he, like, I find the ability of like just being able to restore petrification every single turn be like really good.
Yeah, so it will be just quite special conditions that come out. Just like normally he came out just like one of the ultimate stage. Just like every round just like have the special fire. So just like we keep using Google like we open the skill, then he just like the next round jump, use again jump like this. To counter just like every round of fire.
Yeah, I think I've used this card like quite a bit, not even for the Petrify resistance, but also for the initial shield ignoring abilities. Like it was actually at a point where like people were like, this was not yet in the LR pass, but now it is, so it's a good card.
Yeah.
So, okay, honestly, I might put him like, okay, this is a recent card. I might put him like more like in front because like I've used. I mean, I'm like in terms of use rate, I'm like I've used this card like more than like quite a few of the cards there. I think that's a good position for him. And then last card in here, Onyx. I've used him before, not a lot, but I've used him before.
Yes.
He's fine. He ignores burning, but a lot of teams just ignore burning anyway nowadays. Sometimes used, I'd say. Sorry, what?
I think just like I use him just like only for his damage, just like 15. The attack damage 15.
Yeah, the attack damage multiplier is quite high, but once again, like damage is not a main consideration nowadays, right? Like the team has high enough damage, hopefully.
Maybe only maybe for the need the attribute lah, maybe dark attribute.
Yeah, when you need like one card to like achieve like an insane amount of damage just by itself.
Yeah.
And then a couple of cards that I forgot. Sloth, theoretically useful. I've never actually had to use this card. This is a full board heart moonstones.
Yeah.
I've in the past I've just used other cards to get around it because I didn't want to train this card because I'm lazy. Have you ever used this card?
No, I basically use the Emulator Dragonhearted to have to infuse up.
You use you use what card instead?
Maybe C. Maybe C. Maybe Bungit, the beast, fire beast.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, because nowadays if not actually I second choice is just like I use the emulator card and then I diffuse the runes that I want to change the card like to counter that.
So yeah, theoretically useful, good effect, but outclassed by other cards, I guess. And Yoxo Goth, who is a good card. This is not once again not counting the corrupted version, the new corrupted version that just came out. Damn, I don't know where to put this. This and Mech Smilodon used to be so good. That was the combo back in the day.
Yeah, they are combo back in
but okay, where would you put this? Like now, I guess. Sometimes use something.
Yeah, because I mean it is like purple lah, just like the fire member is maybe not enough. Just like do the achievement lah, I might prefer. Maybe for her just like turning the fixed attribute, like 5 or 5 attribute are ready, like you put it properly. But honestly, I didn't use those. Because I only sometimes use them because like one of the reason is the CD is like a little bit too long already.
Alright, we finally reached the end. That was quite a long recording. I will probably have to cut some of that out. Of course, if you reach this, you won't know that I've cut some of this out, but that's fine. Main thing is, I guess you can use this as a guide for like what to train first in the LR post if you've gotten that far. And yeah, thanks for coming to SHT.
Thank you for inviting me for this part.
Yep, and I guess that's the end of that. Hello, if you've made it here, this is the final tier list. You can take this as a rough guide as to what to train. You know, the top tier is ordered in, you know, the actual power level, in my opinion. Past the first level, I don't think there was much ordering. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and let me know what you think about this longer form content. It is kind of time consuming to make, but leave your thoughts down in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video. See ya!